Hey guys, what's going on? This Talk Forest TV here, back again with another Red and White show. And to my left, we have got the one and only, the part-time Barnsley fan, Luke.
Yes, hello Dan. You've done it again. You've mentioned Barnsley in a stream. Well done. Have a medal.
Oh, can I have a chocolate one?
Don't know.
um, so then, it's been, well, not a busy week at Forest, but football-wise, it has been busy. Transfer-wise, been usual. So, Forest been linked with few players been one and transfer bids been rejected another one. So obviously I think the biggest one that took us all out was Buchanan.
Yeah, but again, Buchanan isn't what everybody thinks. He's not the kind of Derby through and through kind of player. He's actually a Forest fan playing for Derby.
Yeah, that's the thing. He is a Forest fan and he's a Mansfield lad as well, and all his family's Forest fans. So it's quite nice.
And at the end of the day, if we push Derby to the end of the window, then they'll probably just snap and just take a bid anyway because they need as much money as humanly possible. So I think they're just sticking it out to see if they can shove us up to an insane target total, and then if they can't, they'll take whatever they can get. And we do need a left back, so you know.
Yeah, that we
We're
seem to
back.
go back into the old way of left backs.
Yeah, we've gone from having 4 left backs to kind of 2, but one's injured and one's not good enough, so we need another.
Oh, don't let your mate he say that, Patrick. But yeah, we seem now it's like fair enough. We've got a natural left back in Blackett and Bum, but I can't see us using Blackett as a left back. He seemed to use Blackett as a centre half against Southampton, but and I can't see Bond getting involved too much with how he is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting one, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we have been linked with Arsenal's left back as well this week in Toki, or I did write it down, but my spell checker seemed to have putting it into a different word.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah, all you need. Just on, but yeah, we seem to be linked with left players, but we seem to be not back on bids or our valuations of players that are very much off. So I don't know if because with COVID, I don't know if clubs are demanding more money or our
I think
valuations of players are off.
I think the thing is, we're still at the end of July. We're not at the end of August, and it always happens. You get teams try to push the luck a bit and get more money than they actually should because they hope that someone's going to pay it. But at the end of the day, if the player wants to go to Forest, let's say, if we put another bid in that's probably slightly higher but not what they're asking, in August, at August 31st, they'll probably accept it because they know it's inconvenient for us because we started the season. But at the same time, is it really that much of a thing to wait an extra month for a player if we want them that badly? I don't think so, to be fair. As long as we get the squad together by the 1st of September, to me, now, the 31st, it doesn't particularly matter to me.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean, I know a lot of fans are panicking. A lot of fans are worrying. So I do completely agree that we shouldn't be over panicking. I mean, especially with this new recruitment team that is in, that we are doing things a lot more different, if that makes sense. So I don't know if you agree with that or not.
I think if we'd have had the Greeks just doing the signings, we'd have probably expected about 10 signings in before the 5th of July. So, but they wouldn't have been thought out, they'd have just been thrown at it and it wouldn't have worked. You've got to remember that last season we got to around now and just was a loose cannon. We had one every 3 or 4 days and none of them really came off. We've got to have a plan. They've got to fit the mode that we want to play, and we just keep looking for players until they do. And I have every confidence that Forest will finish this transfer window with 5 signings, including the American keeper.
Yeah.
But we've just got to make it. It's got to make it more, more thought out.
Yeah, definitely. And everyone seemed to be coming in. But yeah, I completely agree at the minute that we should be do things a lot more thought out than we have been. I mean, do you think it's starting to be a lot more replica of how we used to do things under Mark Arthur and Nigel Data?
I mean, I don't think it's as chaotic as if when Mark Arthur was there, because that guy had no common sense whatsoever. But I think it's more thought out within. We're not scattergunning about 20 players at the squad and expecting it to work.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, we've been linked with Daphne from Rennes, the former AC Milan player this morning quite a bit. I don't know what your thoughts are about that.
Well, and Yang, to me, he's always seemed to be transfer listed wherever he's been. And I don't know a lot about him, but he just comes across to me as not really settling anywhere. And does he have is there an issue there where he goes into a dressing room and maybe is a bit hard work to manage?
Do you think he's another Balotelli?
I don't
seem to want to win today.
I don't know about Balotelli. I just get the impression he's a bit kind of Paul Pogba-esque.
Yes, hopefully they don't know. But yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, would you want someone like that back at City Ground? With I mean, do you think they remind you too much of like Abdul and the Jabal that you used to have?
Again, I don't think you can liken every player to false players that we've had before. I mean, we've picked up some very good foreign players, Sal, Ribeiro, Samba. And I think this time around we're thinking about it a lot more than actually just rushing to get it done. I mean, I've got every confidence the Croatian will come off because I think he's now gone into Zagreb's second team and he wants to come over. So I think that's just a slow burner as to whether we can get everything dead on. But I mean, we won't make our transfers until 10:05 in the evening when everyone's clocked off and ready to go to bed. And they'll go, we're announcing our second signing of the summer now because, you know, everybody really wants to be doing YouTube videos at 10:05 in the evening, don't they?
Really? Maybe on the match now, but not transfer news.
I mean, your background's about apt for if anything like that happens, dark with a floodlight on.
Yeah. I mean, it does make you think now that are we being a lot more different in terms of like yeah, fair enough. We make a sign at 10 when no one expects it, and it feels like that from the Forest end of things that we're not really saying too much about our transfers. I mean, it's mainly coming from like a lot more like other clubs, so it's just sounding like that we are doing our business a lot more different from others.
Well, nothing seems to get leaked anymore, and I think we will just make signings, and then it'll be a sense of, oh, it's so left field. We've not heard it before.
Mm.
So it's like, oh, okay, we were in for him. We didn't know that. And at the end of the day, Chris Hughton has got Brighton promoted. He got Norwich promoted, I believe. He had Birmingham in third or fourth in the Championship. Newcastle, he got them promoted. So at the end of the day, you've got to trust that he knows what he's doing now. He's there for a full summer.
Yeah.
And if it means playing the likes of Mighton, Johnson, Fornal, Gabriel, Richardson at left back for the game against Coventry, while he sorts the side out towards the end of August, I think that's not a bad thing because you're playing with energy. You have to go into the season more energetic than when you finished the last one. Otherwise, what was the point of the summer?
Mm.
And if you start coming out with the whole experience stuff with Arter, Colback, and Bashiru across the midfield, then you've not really got a brain.
Nah.
You've got to have it where you if you've got Johnson, Mighton, Carvalho, Lolly, you've got attacking players there. You've just got to use them, and you've got to get up close to the pain in the backside up front to create things so that it's right middle of the goal, so it really can't miss.
Mm. Yeah. Also, we got the introduction of Carvalho that seemed to be back. I mean, he didn't play at the weekend, but he seems to be back fully in the picture again. I mean, he started 2 of the 4 games as well.
And again, Chris Hughton was a big fan of João Carvalho when he was doing the punditry work for Sky Sports. And I think Carvalho is a decent player. There's no word of a lie. He has good talent. But the big bugbear of me is he doesn't show it often enough. And whether it's because we're trying to turn him into a number 10 that gets back and tackles and it's not really a Portuguese way, etc., as I've had aimed at me from Forest fans in the past. At the end of the day, beep to that. You're playing an English Championship. It's a league like no other. You have to do the attacking and the defending because otherwise midfields are going to overrun you in midfield because we don't have the players there at the minute that can do the attacking and defending in the middle behind. So you've got to come back to make a solid 3. And whether that's playing Brennan Johnson there, whether that's playing Carvalho there, Lolly there, I don't really care. If it works, it works. It's only a bad thing if it's not working.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, do you think... I mean, I know Chris Hughton's more of a 4-4-1-1, 4-4-1-1, 4-2-3-1 guy, but do you feel like if we can get that bit more flexibility into our squad? I mean, I know that Brennan Johnson can play anyway in that midfield. Martin can play Winston up front. Lolly can play in that number 10. Do you feel like that we will have that little bit more flexibility in that team that we've probably not had probably since Sean Driscoll days, where we had the flexibility to change things around when we need to. I mean, I know that Sean and Driscoll did have a philosophy of doing it.
I think it's always important to try and confuse your opponents, but at the same time, not so much that it also confuses everybody else, including the team that's actually doing the confusing. If you're going to put a side out with Taylor and Graben in it, then that usually spells that Lewis Graben is going to play down the middle, but behind Lyle Taylor. So you don't do that very often because that is predictable. You only do it when it isn't predictable. And then you try and match it round to the Taylors sometimes behind Graben. And I think it's more about if you select players in the... I go back to Blackburn at home on New Year's Day. I think it was 2 years ago. We had Lolly, Amiobi, and it may have been Carvalho or Silva. I can't remember. Silva, yeah. But what we did was it wasn't set in stone that any of those three players were playing in a set position. They alternated. They caused absolute havoc for that Blackburn back line because you could not say, you mark him, you stay there and mark him. Because literally they were everywhere. And it is the big thing. If you pick Lolly, Brennan Johnson, and Alex Myton in that midfield three, they have to be fluid. They have to be everywhere. They have to alternate. They have to basically, if Brennan Johnson's gone out wide, then your winger has to go inside. And that's where the spaces open up. That's where you get your kind of your goals from, because then you've got your kind of 80 to 90 rated pace of Myton through the middle, whereas your Brennan Johnson that's not as quick is out wide.
I love how you use FIFA ratings then.
I couldn't think of the speed of Myton in miles an hour, so I just used rated instead of kind of. I mean, everybody's 90 rated on FIFA, but if you play 90s rated, but then again, that's me going into FIFA factory stuff, and I won't bore everybody, your viewers, with that again. But it's just you've got to be a bit more wise to the fact that if you sit there and just run in your formation, it is so goddamn easy to defend against. You just man mark, and if everybody does their job properly, you don't score. And you look at the top clubs in the Premier League, the way they score is they don't have a set formation when they're attacking. It's literally, let's just go everywhere.
Yeah, I completely agree. Going on to the fixtures as well. Don't forget, guys, we are recording this just not long before the Villa game this afternoon, but we have got Villa and Burnley and coming up. I mean, looking enough, my match ticket has came for Burnley this morning. But how do you feel about being back at City Ground on Saturday? I mean, last time we was at City Ground, it was that night against Millwall. That it's still plays in my mind nowadays.
Well, my first game back won't be till Bournemouth, so yay. Because literally, I'm not paying for Forest tickets if I don't really have to, unless it's a cup run. But, I mean, Forest fans need to be back because I think it killed us last year to a point. I think it benefited us in one respect that it didn't really crucify Cyrus Christie all season, because I think our fans in Lower Bridgeford would definitely be doing a bit of moaning at Cyrus Christie most of last season. God, thank God he's gone back. But I think you've just got to be a bit kind of you got to be happy, but at the same time, I don't know. It's an odd one, really, isn't it? But going on the actual fixtures themselves, we've kind of got the Matty Cash Cup, followed by the Joe Worrell Cup.
Yeah.
Kind of Matty Cash because he played for both clubs, but the Joe Worrell one because he's been linked with Burnley and plays for Forest. So really, two
And
players.
they've been linked for Burnley for like years now.
So you may as well design two more cups and get them played every year. The Matty Cash Cup, the Joe Worrell Cup, sorted. You also get the Brian Clough Trophy when we play Derby, so that'll be retained this year because they're absolutely shite. But
It should be the Matty Worrell Cup and do that little bit of a pre-season tournament involving Burnley and Villa.
well, when we last played Burnley in pre-season, we got Matty Cash got injured.
That was during the game. That was when he got injured.
Was it? Oh,
Yeah.
shows how much I remember.
When we did play Burnley, it finished 1-0. I mean, I know everyone says it wasn't a goal, but Darryl Murphy scored the first goal for us. So could it be a lucky omen? Someone else does this Saturday, but obviously Burnley. I know Villa will be a tough opponents, especially against because obviously with this one they have, but Burnley will be a different matter, and they are kind of rebuilding anyway.
I think most people are, to be fair. What's this now? Has somebody cancelled on me again? No, good. Right. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting, isn't it? It's whatever happens, and just gotta hope that we get the pieces to click.
Yeah. I'm going to go a bit off topic, but obviously Derby is in a lot of trouble. I mean, there was that bit of banter about Josh Knight getting injured by Wayne Rooney the other day, which is a big shame. But obviously they are struggling, and there were a bit of reports this morning saying that they're going to keep Wayne Rooney on. So which is a massive agent Rooney thumbs up. So obviously the voting is on for the football content awards as well. So obviously that posted link around quite a bit. Obviously I know quite a lot of people have voted for TFTV as well, so which is quite nice. So I do have to look for that. I'd like to say thank you for Luke for coming on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
I do apologise for any of the racket that went off first 10 minutes. I had a bit of some family around, and I did pre-warn them what I was doing, but they're coming in and out like